I'm running out of video ideas, so I guess it's time to do a tier list. I guess that's what YouTubers do when they're out of ideas. I hate even saying YouTuber, but today I'm going to be ranking or tiering my favorite musicians of all time, I guess. There is some artists that I would like to have on here that I don't have. I tried to pick artists that I've actually listened to quite a bit and that I can actually give like somewhat of an opinion on. There are some newer ones here, like Kate Bush. I've only listened to Hounds of Love, but I just loved that album so much I wanted to put her on here. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And also, this tier is in context of these artists as well. So if I give Charli XCX a D, for example, it doesn't mean I think she's a terrible artist. It's just in comparison to the rest of the people on here. All right, we're started off with Phoebe Bridgers here. I think I'm going to give Phoebe an A. A couple months ago, it probably would have been lower than that. But after hearing Stranger in the Alps, she's grown on me quite a bit. I don't know, I have a super like emotional connection to it. And I think that's going to determine a lot of the placements on this tier list is how much of an emotional connection I have, not necessarily how like good their music is, because I think there is definitely some better musicians. Like Phoebe's not like the best of all time on here, but her music's just really beautiful. I feel like I can connect with it a lot. Punisher, Stranger in the Alps, two great albums. I love her voice, love the instrumentals she chooses, and I just love her vibes. Just I just connect with it a lot. Um, Michael Gira of Swans, obviously. Swans, I haven't listened to all of their material, but I've listened to a majority of their projects. I think I'm gonna give them an A. I would give them an S, but I don't know. I really appreciate their work and just the musicianship of it and how mind blowing it is. But I think I lack like somewhat of an emotional connection to warrant like an S. Um, but I think what they do is just super mind blowing. Obviously, they just the way they build songs and just I don't know, they're crazy, man. The atmospheres they create are absolutely insane. They're definitely one of the bands I want to see live most out of any of these people. So yeah, I love Swans. Just a bunch of great projects. Obviously, they got a 10 from Fantano, but they have a bunch of other great ones too, like The Seer, The Glowing Man, To Be Kind, obviously, is great. And then some of their past works as well are super good as well. So yeah, Swans is great. Black Midi, I think I'm gonna give A as well. I know we got a bunch of A's to start off, but that's what I'm feeling. Black Midi, they very well could become an S with Hellfire dropping tonight. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna put them at A for now. I don't think they've made a perfect project yet. I think Cavalcade is their best. Schlagenheim is pretty solid as well, but if Hellfire is just as good as Cavalcade or better, I think they could easily move up to S. Moses Sumney is someone I haven't talked about much on this channel, but he's one of my favorite vocalists of all time, I think. His falsetto is just absolutely beautiful. To me, he's like kind of falls in the same category as Frank Ocean. They make kind of similar music, give me kind of the same vibe. They're both great vocalists. He's a great writer as well. I'm gonna give. I think his projects aren't perfect though. I think they're a little bit flawed, so I'm gonna give him B. I think he can definitely make something better. Gray was definitely better than a Romanticism, but I think he still can make something a little bit better than those projects. So great vocalist, just lacking like a super mind blowing album. Playboy Cardi, we're gonna give C. I like Playboy Cardi. He's fun to listen to. He's good vibes. I always have a good time when I'm listening to him, but he kind of just lacks substance, I guess. So I can't really see myself putting him higher than C. Whole Lot of Red has grown on me quite a bit. I was kind of confused at it first. Can I not speak? I was kind of confused by it at first. Die Lit, I loved right away. Self-Titled, I loved right away. But yeah, he's pretty good. Again, this is in context of these musicians, so he's not terrible. He's just not. I don't have as much as a connection with him as I do with these other artists. Claro, I'm gonna give Claro a B. I think Immunity was pretty flawed in my opinion. Sling is one of my favorite projects of 2021. If it was just Sling, honestly, she might be even a little bit higher, but Immunity kind of brings her down a little bit. She's another one like Phoebe that I think I just have a pretty strong connection to. Her airy and intimate vocals are great. And yeah, I don't know why. I just really like her voice a lot. Her music just makes me feel good. Um, Even though a lot of the topics and themes she covers shouldn't be things that make you feel good, it feels really intimate, close, and personal, which I really enjoy. Black Country New Road. This is the first S, easily. A couple months ago, Black Country New Road definitely would have been probably an A or a B. But I think Ants from Up There, it's my favorite album of the year. It's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. It sucks that Isaac left the group, but obviously he should do what's best for him, obviously. I think just in terms of musicality, writing, epic instrumentation, they just know what they're doing, man. They're so good. For the First Time was a pretty solid debut, but I think they really honed their craft and their skills. And yeah, Ants from Up There, favorite album of the year so far. It's gonna be hard to top it. So yeah, they're definitely an S for me. Frank Ocean, also an S. I used to be obsessed with Frank Ocean a lot more than I am now. I don't even know if Blonde is a 10 out of 10 for me anymore, which is kind of sad. I kind of hate to say it, but I'm going to do like a full review of Blonde eventually. I feel like I want to write one out for Album of the Year. And it might not be a 10 for me anymore, but Frank Ocean is still, I mean, he's the person that got me into music. He changed my life, honestly. Blonde is a life-changing album. Channel Orange is insanely good. Endless is super underrated. Would I say better than Channel Orange? I don't know. I don't want to rank them right now, but Endless is underrated. Even Nostalgia Ultra is pretty solid as well, even though there's some tracks on there I'm not a huge fan of. He's one of my favorite vocalists. I just, again, emotionally connect to him a lot. And yeah, I think he's a good guy. He makes good music. And yeah, he's super cool. Next one is Jockstrap. Now, I recently just got into Jockstrap. I believe it is consisting of one of the members of Black Country New Road and then someone else as well. It's a duo. They make really experimental, like, just strange music. I don't even really know what to classify it as, but yeah, I was debating including them on this, but I feel like I wanted to because they've only dropped, like one EP, I think? Let me see here. How many EPs have they dropped? They haven't dropped an album yet, I don't think. Yeah, they haven't even dropped an album, but all their songs that they've released, I've liked a lot. I think what they're doing is really groundbreaking, so I wanted to include them here. I think they lack the material, though, for me to put them super high. I'm going to put them at C. I think just with time, they'll definitely rise up if they continue to drop the quality of stuff that they're dropping right now. Next up, we have Godspeed You, Black Emperor. This is one of my favorite bands of all time. I'm going to give them the A. Just because their stuff, while I love it on first listens, and I do say it's like mind-blowing and just larger than life music, I don't find myself returning to it that much. Like, I listened to their albums the first time. I might return to a few songs here and there, but them, along with Swans, I think lack, like, replayability, I guess, which isn't, like, the worst thing ever, but for me, for an artist to be an S tier, I feel like I have to be able to come back to them a lot and really enjoy songs, like, 10 years in the future or something. So, I don't know. They're great. Again, they make mind-blowing music, transcendental music, transformative, whatever you want to call it. But again, they kind of fall in the same tier as Swans, where I don't like actually return to them that much. Like, I appreciate the musicality and just the level, the degree of execution. But again, I don't really return to them as much as like a Black Country New Road or a Frank Ocean. Death Grips, I'm gonna give B. I think what they make really progressive, boundary pushing, obviously experimental hip hop, industrial hip hop, mixed with rock and electronic music and stuff like that. I just lack the emotional connection, which is, I feel like, pretty understandable because it can be kind of hard to connect with MC Ride, because most people are nothing like the person he portrays in his music. Again, they make really good music. It's just I kind of lack the connection to put them any higher than this. Little Simps, I'm going to put at B, I think. This is another one I was kind of debating including, but Sometimes I Might Be Introvert was one of my favorite albums of 2021, so I feel like it was... I haven't even listened to Gray Area, so maybe I shouldn't be including her, but I loved her album in 2021. She's a great rapper. I loved the instrumentation on that, so I think she's fits in B there. Kanye, I'm gonna put A. Couple months maybe before Donda came out, I would have put Kanye at an S, but I don't know. I feel like the Kanye hype has kind of died down for me. I still like him a lot, but I don't think he's an S for me anymore. Obviously, he's super influential, one of the greatest musicians of all time, definitely. Um, Pretty much changes his sound with every project, every album that he goes into, which is super admirable. Um, yeah, great producer, great rapper. I just I don't like a lot of the stuff that he does as a person, so that could also kind of affect my rating of him. But I think he's still just a genius musically. Gene Dawson, I'm gonna put it B here. B or C? I'm gonna put. He's gonna go down to B or C. Pixelback Bath was a really fun project by Gene Dawson. He's dropped some pretty solid singles since then as well. I think he pushes the boundaries as well with what you can do with. I mean, Pixel Bath blended like a ton of genres together, which was insane. I think he's just really creative, and I like his music videos a lot. That kind of factors into why I like him so much. I like his vision for his visuals. I think he has some of the most unique visuals in the music industry right now. And yeah, I think he's just really unique. I like him. Gene Dawson, pretty solid. Stevie Wonder. I'm gonna give Stevie Wonder an A. Don't think he's gonna get the S. Only because I haven't heard enough of his stuff. I've only heard Songs in the Key of Life and Talking Book, which I'm gonna change that soon because I'm gonna listen to pretty much all of his albums, hopefully soon. But even based off of those two albums that I've heard, I think he is just a great songwriter, has one of the best voices I've ever heard. His instrumentals and just the music behind what he does is always entertaining. Yeah, I mean, he's an all-time great. He's an icon. So there you go, Stevie Wonder. Kendrick Lamar, easiest S I've given so far. I think with Mr. Morale, I think he cemented for me that he's the best rapper of all time, easily. I didn't love Mr. Morale at first, but it has grown on me probably the most any album has grown on me ever. It's just such a personal record. Kendrick is just, I don't know, he just feels like he shouldn't even belong in this universe. Like, I don't know, I feel spoiled to be able to listen to Kendrick's music, so I think that's all I can really say. Vince Staples, I'm gonna give a D. I mean, I love his self-titled project. Big Fish Theory is pretty good as well. His recent project that he just dropped, I wasn't the biggest fan of. There were some highlights on there, but I don't know. I listen to him a lot, but I don't know if he makes. I think he makes he has the worst catalog out of anybody here. I don't know, man. This is hard to do. I'm just gonna give him a D. That's just what I'm feeling. Yeah, I like his voice. He's a pretty good writer, but I think the beats he chooses sometimes can be a little bit lackluster. I mean, he's still in this favorite musician artist tier list, so he's still great, but if I had to give a critique, that's what it would be. Travis Scott, he's been pretty controversial lately with the Astroworld event, obviously. I think he makes really good music, though. Separating the art from the artist, I'm gonna give him a B. Astroworld's great, Rodeo's great. His other projects not as good. I'm excited to see what his next album's gonna be. I'm kind of scared for that because some of the singles I haven't been a biggest fan of. But yeah, I think he makes pretty solid music. He's pretty influential. I mean, he was pretty influenced by Kanye, of course, but he's influenced a lot of artists since then, and he has a really recognizable and distinct sound, definitely. So I think B is fair. Kevin Abstract, I'm gonna give an A. I love Kevin Abstract. Obviously, the lead member, I guess. Do they even have a lead member of Brockhampton? Yeah, I connect with him a lot in his lyrics. I think he's super vulnerable. I think I like him a lot as a person, so I think that really affects my rating as well. I don't even love either of his projects. I think they're solid. I don't think they're perfect or anything, but again, I just have a personal connection to him. Again, and that's going to be a theme with a lot of these top artists here. So I think he fits in the A category pretty good there. JPEG Mafia, I'm gonna give a B. Makes solid albums. Veteran is really good. Cornball's really good. LP was one of my favorite albums of last year. I think he's got a really consistent discography, but again, he's one of those guys that I just can't really relate to what he's talking about lyrically. So I kind of lack that emotional connection, but I do appreciate what he does in terms of pushing the boundaries with experimental hip hop and stuff like that. So yeah, Remy Wolf, I'm gonna give a C, I think. She makes some really fun, colorful pop music, catchy hooks. She just seems like a fun person in general. I think she lacks the substance a little bit. Like, I think she's a little bit one-dimensional in the terms of the stuff she's dropped so far. Can that change in the future? Yes, definitely. But yeah, Juno was one of my favorite projects of last year. I just think she doesn't have like the versatility of some of these artists in front of her, so I think she fits in C. I'm gonna give Genesis a C as well. Genesis Wusu. He had one of my favorite projects again of 2021, Smiling with No Teeth. I think he's got a lot of potential to drop some really good projects. I mean, he already did. I'm excited to see what he does in the future. I just think he doesn't have quite the catalog to compete with these other artists here. Radiohead's an S. Radiohead is probably my favorite band of all time. Between them and Black Country New Road, I guess, maybe? It's hard. But yeah, they just have the catalog to back it up. They've been around for, what, like 30 years now, consistently dropping great projects. OK Computer, insane. In Rainbows, insane. I mean, you know, the Left Turn with Kid A, of course. They change up their sound quite a bit. They push the boundaries. I feel like I've said that like 80 times in this video, but that's really important to me for artists that I really enjoy. And yeah, Tom York is one of my favorite vocalists too, I'd say, of all time. And he's another vocalist that I just emotionally connect with, like Frank Ocean, like Isaac from Black Country New Road, and I mean Kendrick. I can't really relate to the stuff Kendrick raps about, but I don't know. I feel like I can kind of emotionally connect with him. So yeah, Radiohead's great. I don't think I have much else to say. MF Doom. I definitely need to listen to more MF Doom, but I kind of wanted to just include him on this list. I'm going to put him in B. I need to listen to more, obviously, but Mad Villainy is one of my favorite albums of all time, probably. Food was okay. It definitely wasn't as good as Mad Villainy, but it was still pretty solid. He's one of the best lyricists on this list, one of the best MCs here. But again, he's one of the guys where I just kind of lack that emotional connection. So that's why he's at the B tier. Injury reserve. Let's give the boys, rest in peace, Grogs, of course. Let's give the boys, I'm going to give them B. I feel like they fit in B. By the time I get to Phoenix, was a great project last year. I definitely need to listen to them more. Like, I've listened to all of their albums, but I kind of want to dive back into them a little bit more. I've kind of not listened to them in a while. But yeah, again, they make experimental hip-hop. They kind of, when I was discovering them, they kind of gave me the same feeling when I was discovering Brockhampton for the first time. Like, that's how excited I was and how intrigued I was when I was discovering them for the first time. So the hype for them has definitely worn off a little bit for me, but I still think they make really, really great music. Gorillaz, I'm going to give a C. I definitely need to listen to more Gorillaz. How many albums have I actually listened to them by them? I mean, I've listened to Plastic Beach. I've listened to Demon Days. Their new single that they just dropped, Cracker Island, was fantastic. I've listened to Song Machine. So yeah, I need to listen to their debut. I need to listen to Humans, the Now Now, Meanwhile EP. So I definitely need to listen to more stuff by them, but the stuff I have listened to, I've enjoyed a lot. Once again, I need to dive into it. Once I dive into it more, and if their other projects are just as good, they could definitely easily climb up this pretty easily. So I'm gonna put them at C. Kate Bush, I'm gonna put it A. I know I've only listened to one Kate Bush project, but that is quickly becoming one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's just the fact that she produced it all too is insane. I love the story of the album. I love her voice. I think she's a super unique vocalist. and a really great songwriter as well. I gotta listen to obviously more of her stuff, but what I have listened to, she's fantastic. Kate Bush, easy A. Lauryn Hill, I think, is going to be another A. I think she lacks kind of the amount of work, I guess, to get an S. But The Miseducation obviously is a classic. It's a shame that she kind of stepped away from the scene, but obviously Miseducation, great album. I don't think I have much else to say about Lauryn Hill. She's just she's great. Denzel Curry is going to go in B. I think that's pretty easy for me. He's got a really consistent catalog. Like, obviously, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future came out this year, and it was a pretty solid project. I think Unlocked is still my favorite album of his. But he's a great vocalist, a great rapper, a great writer. I think the beats that he chooses are really unique and really entertaining as well. He kind of was like the underrated. He was known for being underrated. I don't think he's that underrated anymore, but I think he kind of, I don't know, I feel like he should be getting more streams on his albums, you know? I feel like he could easily be attracting a way larger audience, which I don't know why he is, or why he isn't, which kind of sucks. But I think, yeah, again, his catalog is great. He's got a great consistent catalog of albums: Imperial, Taboo, Zoo, Unlocked, Melt My Eyes. Just some really great stuff there. And yeah, he's pretty unique. I like him a lot. I like his personality. And yeah, there you go. Brockhampton's an S for me. Brockhampton is another one of those groups that, got me into music. The Saturation trilogy is fantastic. Roadrunner was easily one of my favorite albums of 2021. Ginger, solid. I don't think they really have a bad album, other than, All American Trash definitely is not, it's definitely their worst, but there's even some solid songs on there. I think just the fact that they can balance how many members they have and still make great music is really impressive. And yeah, I know they get some flack on Twitter and stuff for the allegations and stuff. Obviously, Amir, his allegations were completely real. I haven't read too much into the other allegations, which I probably should do. But if we're separating art from the artist, I try to do that with Kanye as much as I can, even though it's hard sometimes. If we're separating art from the artist, Brockhampton, some of my favorite songs, albums of all time. And yeah, I hope they eventually drop this year. They said there was going to be a final album this year, so I hope that's going to happen. We have Phil Elverum here. I think I'm just going to include this as the Microphones and Mount Eerie. The Microphones have some of my favorite albums of all time. Mount Eerie as well. I'm going to give him A. I think once I listen to more of his material, I think it could become an S, but for now, I'm going to give him an A. Again, super vulnerable lyrics. I think this is another artist I connect with emotionally. I love the lo-fi aesthetic of his music. I love the experimental nature of it. And yeah, it's really great. Tyler, the Creator, is going to be another A as well. He would be an S if I could just completely ignore his earlier albums, but his earlier albums do exist, and they're not the best. But if it was just, say, like Igor, Flower Boy, Call Me If You Get Lost, he would probably be an S for me. I think he's one of the most versatile artists in the game right now. Obviously, he produces his own stuff. He's a great producer. I like him as a person, too. I think a lot of these ratings factor in how much I like them as a person, too, even though I don't know any of these people. Just the stuff I see of him and his personality, I really enjoy as well. So, yeah, A for Tyler, the Creator. Last up, we got Charli XCX here. I'm going to give Charli a C, I think. I've only recently been getting into Charli XCX, but I've listened to 3 of her albums. They've all been really solid. She makes really entertaining pop music, mixing it with experimental things and hyper pop, and she's another person where I feel like I like her personality a lot too, and I think it shines through a lot in the music. I think the production she goes with is super unique and entertaining. She's entertaining as a vocalist. She's a great singer. She makes solid projects as well. I still need to check out her earlier stuff, but now that I'm talking about it, maybe she should be higher. I don't know. She's another one where I don't really connect lyrically, so that's why she's kind of low. And Crash wasn't perfect. Definitely, it had some flawed moments, but Lightning, definitely. But, I'm going to put her at B. I don't know. This is tough. Is she better than Gorillaz? Is she? Yeah, I'm gonna put her at B. I think the 3 albums that I've listened to have been solid enough to warrant, I guess, her being in the B tier. I don't even know if this was a good video at all, but here you go. Here's my favorite musicians of all time. This is gonna change, I can tell, a lot. Even like a year from now, I can tell. But yeah, Kendrick, Black Country New Road, Frank Ocean, Radiohead, and Brockhampton in the S tier. I think, I think that's good. I think that's good. Obviously, I feel like there's some stuff I could change maybe, but I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe Travis lower. Yeah, I'm gonna put Travis lower. Um, but yeah, there you go. Favorite musicians of all time. Let me know what you thought about this down below. Obviously, this is just completely subjective. And as I was going through this, I realized a lot of it wasn't even really about how great their music is. It's just like, I don't know, it feels like it's more just about how much I connect to it. And again, I haven't listened to all of these artists' complete discographies, so that can change things as well once I listen to more of their stuff. But based off of what I have listened to, this is what I'm feeling. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if I should do any other tier lists. I was gonna do like favorite singers tier list, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I need to just be exposed to more music before I do that. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.